Coming up in this sailing adventure, Dagny gets a new slip. Ta-da! I justify the title of this video by running into something. And I go through the steps of solo sailing. But first, if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe to my channel and leave a comment too. I love getting helpful feedback, and so does the YouTube algorithm. Well, we made it, and here I am at Oyster Point Marina in San Francisco Bay. I'll put up a map or something. Quick update, here we are at Oyster Point Marina. There's Dagny behind me, and we're gonna go and take a look at the slip. Number 37, fancy. With the slip picked out and ready to receive, we just had to motor around the corner from the guest dock. On the way there, I thought it would be a good idea to visit the pump out station. Dagny's black water pump out fitting is on her port side, so I thought I could do a little U-turn so that her port side would be up against the dock. That was the plan anyway, until I hit something.
Okay. I think I can go on the other side is what I'm thinking.
So we went on the other side of the dock. Quick tip for anyone trying to pump out at Oyster Point Marina. You want to aim for the far side of the pump out station dock. Whatever it was we hit, it didn't seem too bad, and Dagny stayed afloat during the pump out. So we focused on getting her to the new slip. It's a double finger slip this time, which really alleviates the stress of scraping into other people's boats. My slip up in Bodega Bay costs around $300 per month, and this one is about $350, which means it's one of the more affordable places to park your boat in San Francisco Bay. Here's Dagny and her new slip in the shadow of South San Francisco's Biotech Business Park. If you're wondering where the cause or the cure for the world's next big pandemic will come from, it could very well come from right here. There's the view here at Oyster Point, 8 a.m. in the morning. It's a beautiful morning. Dagny is just down there on the right. You can see her stern kind of poking out there. City in the background. Sure is pretty. Not a huge fan of the noise coming from this building site over here. It's creating a lot of dust, but in general, it's a beautiful marina. The very first place to explore was Oyster Point's bathroom facilities. Happy to report that they are newly constructed, well maintained, and have awesome fixtures which don't require quarters. I give the bathrooms here at Oyster Point Marina 2 thumbs up. The walk to and from the bathrooms is a bit of a hike, but that's not uncommon for sailboat life. After inspecting the bathrooms, sailboat work began with reinserting the top batten of the mainsail, which had shook itself loose when we got knocked around in the last episode. Amazingly, the batten had flapped itself out completely but landed on the deck of the boat and not in the water, so all I had to do was slide it back in and refasten it. I also refurled the headsail for good measure. Then I scrubbed and I scrubbed the sail covers. Okay, I got the sail covers, or sail cover, cleaned yesterday. Got this new little drill bit thing. Scrubbed it up pretty good, so at least it's not all grungy, and I think that's how it's gonna be, tied up. Next job is to deal with the dinghy. I think that's a good place for the dinghy, all wrapped up, ready to go. But it just needs to be cleaned up. I need to actually clean the dinghy itself, re-roll it up, and find a more kind of permanent solution, because ultimately that was rolling around on the deck when we heeled over. I don't think I would have lost it. I think it kind of fell down right there, but it wasn't secured, and that was really dumb. So I got to figure out a permanent solution for the dinghy craft. Don't want to put it up where it was. Oh, I did have it there, but there's really no place to tie it down up there, where there is a place to actually tie it down here. And to be honest, the extra light that you lose by having the dinghy on top through the main hatch is kind of a blessing with the sun the way it is. Yeah, that's the next job. Before cleaning the dinghy, I took it for a spin around Oyster Point Marina. I'm probably not the only one who likes looking at his own boat from different angles. I also like checking out all the interesting boats in the neighborhood, like this massive trimaran.
We've got a little beach over here if you wanted to go swimming under the shadow of
Big pharma building new buildings. It's kind of cool though. Okay, today is clean Dagny's dinghy day. Got the dinghy hanging by the main halyard, and I'm going to use my new spinny cleaning tool and my little power rinser thing. Hopefully we're going to clean up Dagny's dinghy. Oh, there you go. She's all put away. Dagny's dinghy is clean and nicely packed like a Christmas present, and that's where she's going to live. Yeah, that's what she looks like. Ta-da! I managed to like wrench my back, I think hoisting the dinghy up the mast. I tweaked something in my lower back, so now I'm just going to take it easy and lick my wounds. At night, the Biotech Business Park is lit up like a Christmas tree. I got a plant for Dagny which has been named Dagleaf and is still alive and thriving. The little propane heater is working well, and my internet connection works well enough to stream bad movies, so all's well that ends well. In the morning, I was awoken by the strange sound of team sports. Oyster Point Dragons. I guess they've got like a rowing team here at Oyster Point. That's pretty cool. Oyster Point is in South San Francisco, which is a separate town and not part of San Francisco proper. This is South San Francisco City Hall featuring an uncanceled bust of George Washington. South San Francisco has a refreshingly small town vibe, which I love, and even has a small town hardware store that I am sure I will use often. There's a proper hardware store. This is what that is.
We try to make it one-stop shopping.
Thanks, man.
If we don't have what you need, we can acquire it.
As a new slip warming present, my friend bought me a bosun's chair. Never have I ever used a bosun's chair before and was pretty nervous about going up the mast. Turns out, going up the mast is the easy part. The hard part is staying down below to man the winches. Top of the world. The rowers out there, coming to you live, top of the Oyster Point Marina. Just checking out the top of the mast here. At some point I gotta change that anchor, or this light here. Got that tightened down. This little guy here was wiggling around, so got that tightened down. This is the first time I've ever been up here. It's a little nerve-wracking, considering that it's a long way down. Remus down there who's working the winches for me. Besides checking out the view, I wanted to spend some time on the spreaders since I'd never been able to properly clean them before. And I also wanted to replace the spreader lights to less power-hungry LEDs. I ended up drilling out the rivets holding the lights into the brackets and managed to leave the brackets in place. Yep, they're on. Yeah, so I just wired them up with some XT60 connectors. Cool. Now I just got to tape them up, make them look pretty. All right, so I'm on my morning walk here at Oyster Point, and I thought I'd just show you from another angle. I'm at the actual fishing pier at the very end of Oyster Point. Right there is the marina entrance, and then right there is the gate that you come through. Those two guys right there. So that's really the only distance you have to go to get out into open water, which is super nice. I'm gonna theoretically do that a little bit today. With most things on my list of boat projects done and dusted, we did actually find some time to go out sailing. Imagine being able to scratch your back with your face, or scratch your face with your back. We were quickly out in open flat water with a gentle breeze, so I will now give you a brief tutorial on how I sail solo. Step 1 is to point the nose into the wind and engage the auto helm so that the nose stays pointed into the wind. Step 2, which probably should have been step 1, is to put on your life jacket.
Safety first.
Otherwise, you will be berated in the comments section by crusty old sailors, even though you asked them nicely not to. Step 3 is to carefully go to the mast and raise the mainsail while you mentally prepare yourself for comments suggesting that you should use jacklines and/or a crash helmet. Step 4, which should have been step 3, is to untie the tie wraps, keeping the main neat and tidy around the boom. Step 5 is to finish raising the mainsail, which should have been step 4. Step 6 is to ignore the fact that the mainsail isn't quite right and disengage the auto helm, which has successfully kept us pointing into the wind. Step 8 is to fall off the wind in the general direction you would like to travel and watch the mainsail, which wasn't deployed quite right, fill in with the gentle breeze. Step 9 is to turn the engine off and realize that sailing is much, much better than motoring. Step 10. Unfurl the head sail for more power.
Sailing.
Yes, we are.
And there you have it. How to set your sails in 10 easy steps.
Solo sailing.
Now for a quick lesson on how to solo tack. Step 1. Haul in the mainsail to where it should have been before you decided to tack in the first place. Step 2. With the 2 jib sheets firmly in hand, push the tiller over in the opposite direction you want the nose to go. In this case, I want the nose to go through the wind to port, so I push the tiller with my knees hard to starboard. At this point, the sails will luff. Step 3 is to release the jib sheet. In this case, I'm releasing the starboard jib sheet, and I'm ready to haul in on the port side jib sheet. Step 4, try not to stall out in the middle of your tack. And step 5 is to haul in the jib sheet on the opposite tack. Here's another tack for your inspection. Standing by with both jib sheets in hand, hard over with your knees on the tiller, cast loose the old jib sheet and then wait for a bit, and then really cast it loose. Haul in on the opposite jib sheet, and then let out your main so that it is not properly set. This concludes the how-to section of this video. Soon it was time to batten down the hatches for an extended period of time and make my way towards Chicago.
Well, there's a beautiful sunrise this morning. It's early and I am just locking up the boat to head to Chicago. And it's kind of emotional. Yeah, I've been working towards this moment for a couple of months now, all the boat projects and getting the boat down to Oyster Point, and it was all leading up to this moment where I leave the boat for an extended period of time and go back to Chicago to help my dad out. And yeah, it's hard to leave Dagny. It's hard to leave. Last looks on Dagny for a bit.
I made it to Chicago with hard drives worth of footage needing to be edited and plans to come back to Dagny in March of 2024. With any luck, you're watching this video in March of 2024, so hopefully I'm back on board Daggers, practicing the sailboat life and filming more content for some of you to complain about. Thanks so much for watching. Tune in next time when I return to sunny California.